Well, good morning, quirky birders, and welcome to episode 4 of your daily art challenge. I really do hope you're enjoying the process and you're liking what you're seeing on your paper. So today we're just going to take some time and just finish off our painting really, and just add in the final little bits of detail just to enhance the picture. So I'm going to be concentrating on things like the little bread loaves and the basket that's in the window. We're going to be doing our little sign, painting in the details of the in the front of the cafe, and then also doing our little plants. But first of all, what I want to do is I want to just put an extra little bit of colour on the roof of the cafe, and I also want to add in some extra colour on the canopy just to give it that extra bit of depth and a bit of vibrancy. So I'm just using my size 5 brush for this, and I'll be able to use that as well for the little finer details. And I also have my kitchen paper, so I can take off any excess paint. So I'm just going to start by taking up some of the Battleship Grey and just applying that to the base of the roof. Now again, I'm just going to be using sort of like the glazing technique, so I'm just going to be over painting just a little bit of a shading and shadow of that little roof. So I just want quite a nice sort of shaded effect really. I'm not going to paint the full roof, I just want to have it so it's just got some texture to it. And then just clear away any excess paint. Like so. And then I just want to add in some extra colour to the canopy. So I'm just going to take up some of the crimson red. And again, just working in a glazing way. So I'm just over painting, but I don't want it completely covered. And you can also add in a little bit of orange as well, so you can just give it a different colour. Orange will just give it a little bit more warmth. So I'm just going to use the orange just along the front of the canopy. Like so. So you've just got that lovely richness and warmth. And working on the cafe building, with it being in the foreground of the picture, actually making that quite prominent just adds to the depth of the painting. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. Just tidy up that end. There we go. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to take some time and actually work using the Battleship Grey, and I'm going to be putting in the details of our little balcony here. Now to do that, I'm actually going to be using the flat-headed brush, and I'm going to be just using the darker grey directly from my palette. And all you need to do is literally just dab the colour onto the balcony. So you're using the brush with the straight edge. So just load the brush up with the nice dark grey, and then just literally just dab. Don't press too hard so the bristles splay. Just keep it nice and light. And just literally dab those railings into place. Like so. And as usual, we will be going over this painting with some ink detailing anyway, so those lines will be more clearly defined. So if they're a bit sort of broken and a bit wonky, don't worry about it, because when you come to add in the pen details, it really will look quite effective. So just literally just dab that colour onto the railings. Come down this side. If you've got too much on the paintbrush, then just dry the brush off and you can go back over it with a drier brush just to suck that paint up. So I'll just come down this side. And then we'll come all the way across on the main railing. It's just easier to do it with the flat-headed brush and literally just dab the line. You can do it with a finer brush if you so wished, but I just find it easier just to do it in this way. And then we'll just put in a little line across the bottom, just being very careful not to get near that red that I've just painted, because I would hate for the black to bleed into that red, so I'm just being very careful there. Just put the corner of the balcony in. Okay. So you can see straight away that that really has made such a difference, and certainly brought that area to life. So the next thing that we're going to do, we've just got this little bit of a gully along here, so I'm just going to take up some of the brown in this case, and again just using my flat-headed brush loaded with the paint, I'm just going to dab all the way along that gully. Like so. And you can see straight away we've got some real sort of prominence, to be fair, on our building. Okay, so next thing we need to do, we'll change the brush. and we'll start putting in some of the details on our little cafe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some of the burnt sienna and just paint in our little baguette. And also the same in the shop window. And then just using the yellow ochre, we'll just paint in the buns. Like so. And then we'll take up some of the orange and just pop in some of the details on the little pots that are on the pavement. So we've got some nice little terracotta pots. Use some of the nice bright purple and just paint in some details on the little chair. And it's at this point that everybody's picture is going to be slightly different. So all you need to do is just take the time and just pop in the details that you wish on your painting. And it really is quite nice to see the difference and the variety. So I'm just using some of that, the gamboge, and just painting inside the wall there. Just being quite careful not to get the paint close to where we've just done the bread. Just taking up a little bit of the battleship grey just to put some shading on that door. Just being conscious as to where those colours sit, so I'm just pushing it down towards the bottom. And then we can take up some of the nice green. So I'm actually going to be using sort of a pale green at the moment, and just put some little loose squiggles as some leaves of those geraniums. And again, we'll just add some down here. Very, very simple to do, and then we'll add in the shape of the leaves when we add in the ink details. I'm just going to use that gamboge again and just paint in the inside of the cafe wall. Like I say, it's all about just working your way around the painting quite methodically and just adding in those extra details. Let's just take up like the brilliant green, a bit of a brighter green. We'll put in some leaves on these little plants in the window of the cafe. so. Put in a little bit of a red basket in the window of the bread shop. And then the next thing that we can do is just take some time and just define the shutters a little bit better. So using the purple that we've painted the shutters in, just go round and just define those lines just so it's a little bit clearer. So you've just got that nice distressed sort of weathered look. And then we can do the same again using the cobalt blue. And we can do the same again around the blue shutters, but just being mindful that we've painted in those railings, so I don't want it to bleed and become a sludgy mess. But just take some time and just draw in those lines. Like so. And it really does make such a difference, just these extra details to your painting. Really does just bring it to life. So just quite lightly just put in those details, and then we'll enhance them further using the ink pen when we come to do the inking. Okay. Now the next thing that we can do is we can add a little bit of shadowing and just a bit of extra definition to our building here. And to do that, I'm going to be using again just my little flat brush, and I'm going to be using the Battleship Grey again. So using the kitchen paper, just take off the excess, and all you're going to be doing, just move that across. All you're going to be doing is literally just dabbing the grey along the pencil line that you've actually drawn. And it just helps create those little bits of shadow. And again, just using the very simple technique of just loading the paint upon the flat brush and just literally just dab that colour around your painting. So we'll do the same again here at the bottom, and then also bring it all the way up that side. And if you start from the bottom and work your way up towards the top, then the paint will get lighter as you go. You can see it's a little bit darker down here at the bottom, but that's fine. That's absolutely perfect. And you can see just by enhancing that line just how much more prominent that's now become. So just take some time, be careful and be patient, and just add in the extra details. You can also use the same technique just to define around the outside of your little sign. Just gives it that lovely sort of texture. And don't worry if you've put too much paint down, then just with a thirsty brush, just lift that paint off and that's absolutely fine. So just take your time. If you've been watching the videos and you're doing it sort of fairly sort of close together, you do need to allow the painting to fully dry before you do this part, because you don't want that paint to bleed into what you've already done. And don't worry if the lines go a little bit wiggly, because we're going to be defining them anyway using the pen. Like so. And you can do this technique as much or as little as you like. It really is quite effective just to give your picture some prominence. Okay. And the next thing we need to do, we can just enhance using just the round-headed brush. We just need to enhance that curve and put in an extra layer of paint just to give that some definition. Being quite delicate, I don't want it to be a heavy line, I just want it to be quite soft. And we'll come round here as well and do it on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to pop in a couple of little geraniums. So I'm going to use a nice bright red and just put in some of the geraniums in my little pot out here. So again, just a little sense of squiggle. And we'll draw in the geraniums after. Just use a little bit of brown just to draw around the little sign. So just take some time. Like I say, everybody's picture is now going to be a little bit different. So just take the time and just work in the extra details, and you will really end up with something that looks really quite charming. So I'm going to carry on and work on mine. I'm not going to add too much more to it. I'm just going to pop in my geranium flowers along here when my shutters have dried. Just put a little bit of a backwash here in the pale grey, and also here in the cafe once that's also all dry. And then I'll be back with you again tomorrow, and we can put in our final ink details of our lovely little cafe picture. Hope you're enjoying this process. If you need any help, then you know where to find me. I'm happy to respond to any messages and guide you and assist you as much as I possibly can. I just want you to all achieve something that you're very, very proud of. And I shall see you all in a little while. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.